What is going down, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of the Hybrid Ministry Show. If you have not, if you've not gone back and seen the last one where I edited a full video down, then I want to encourage you to go back and check that out. That is what I would do for editing a full video for YouTube. Once that's done, render out some thumbnails and some time codes and stuff like that. However, for this episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit out 3 short form TikTok style videos. So I want to make sure that you can see that. So I'm going to be using the same Premiere file. I'm just going to resave it and make it vertical as opposed to horizontal. So I want to show you how that goes down. Hey, don't forget, we're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Go subscribe all 3 places. Check those things out. And hit the show notes for transcripts and my free ebook telling you how to post a TikTok from scratch on your phone. This, however, is about posting a TikTok, first saving it on in a video editing software. In particular, this one's Adobe Premiere Pro, and then saving those somewhere that you can repost them later. So without any further ado, let's dive in. Check this sucker out. So like I said in the last video, you would have seen something like this. This is me opening up the Adobe Premiere Pro file. I don't think I need those, so I'm not gonna worry about those. All right, so here's the final. So the first thing I do, you'll never be left out. All right, so the first thing that I do is I file save as. And I'm going to save it as _social1. I do every social, I do a new one. Just because I sometimes move around like backing tracks and audio and resync some things. This happens a lot more with my podcast than these, but I just try and do a different one every single time. Sometimes I forget, but the more that I file save as the source file, the less chance for error. And so I'm just going to start here. So now this is the source file. So now I can change the sequence settings. I'm going up here, sequence settings. Frame size is 1920 by 1080. That is widescreen. I'm going to change it to up and down, whatever that's called, vertical video. So that's 1080 by 1920 pixels. Click OK, and then OK. So now you'll see here in my preview, I have it 1080 by 1920. Problem is, I need this video to be fully screened. So that's why I kind of change it every single time. So I'm going to zoom that in a minute. But first, I am going to create a title track. So I'm going to make it this one right here. In this video, we're going to talk about how you can get. So I want to do it right there. So I clicked I to go in. And then right there, I hit C to get my razor tool, and then V to select that and get it out of here. Now, one of the things I like to do is I like to open it with an animation. I feel like as people are scrolling, when they see an animation, it jars them and at least gets their attention at least a little bit. I'm going to need to zoom that in, though, right? So it needs to be like that. How you can get invited to every single party. I'm going to do C, V, get rid of that, bring that in. I'm going to make these quicker cuts. You'll never be left out again. So where there's a gap there in the audio. How? I'm clipping. This party started and find out. So, go back here, and now I'm going to just do some zooms. So that's at 194. I'm going to zoom in even more to 227, 227. And then 227. So how you can get invited to every single party ever. You'll never be left out again. How? This party started and find out. All right, so I also want to take my thumbnail, which I made in Photoshop. I don't think I showed that on camera, but that's what I ended up making. So I'm going to bring that in the PSD, and then since I have all those layers, I'm going to animate those. And this is going to be like my announcement or like title sequence. So I always do one that just like explains what the video is. It's just like an announcement. And so this is that one. This is me, right here at the beginning. So I'm going to go. How you can get invited to So I'm going to have that come in at the same time. And then I'm just going to move it so it fits. how you can get invited to every single party ever. I'm going to do a sound effect as that comes in. I still have that SFX saved from earlier. If you don't have it, go find it wherever you have sound effects saved. Go find it in your Finder, and then you can drop it right here in this bin. Since I did use that earlier in my long form video, it's already saved in here. So that's one of the reasons too where I like to go back to the original file, because all the things that I pulled in are already still there. All right, so I'm going to do I right there, O right here. I have a lot of other options, but I'm just going to pick that one. Let's see how that sounds. How you can get invited to every single party ever. You'll never be left out again. How? I feel like that needs to be. How? Let's get this party started. How? Let's get this party started and find out. All right, so over here in my shared file, I have created a graphic that I use for my enders. So it's in shared students, social media, TikTok and Reels, and then I think I have it in admin. And this is just where I push people to watch the full video on YouTube. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to let that bounce in right. And I'm going to get a whoosh sound with it. Take just the audio there, boom, put it right there. Yep. Let's get this party started. I want to make that a little later. Let's do it right here. This party started and find out. Let it linger a little bit past the talking. Make that O for out. And then I'm going to go back in here into messages, start the party, and I'm going to get the party music so that there's a little audio track with it. Is it necessary? No. Does it add to it? Maybe. You can be the judge of that. I'm just going to drop it in here. I'm going to make it -25 so it's real low. You can get invited to every single party. I'm going to adjust these audios right here. So I'm just going to highlight them all, select all, right click, audio gain. I'm going to make it 15. So it should be a pretty substantial difference. How you can get invited to every single party ever. You'll never be left out again. How? Let's get this party started and find out. All right, the only thing was I lost my thing right there. Started and find out. All right, now last thing is I want to add captions. So I'm going to go to Window, Workspaces, Captions and Graphics. Here's where I transcribe it. So I'm going to click from Captions to Transcript. I'm going to click Transcribe. Okay, I don't know what this is doing. This is new. Okay, so let's do transcript. Oh. All right, let's try it again. So this is just going to take a minute. There used to be, this is an updated version, so like I said, I have a new computer in my last video. So there used to be an option to just transcribe the in and out portion, so it wouldn't take quite as long. Looks like it got it right here, all those right there. So I'm going to click Captions, create captions from transcript, click this drop down arrow. I like to do single lines and then create captions. So there you see that right there. So I'm going to go over here and highlight that one, click Command A to select all, then I'm going to go change all. So I'm going to, I like to do every one of my captions for students has been Babus New Pro. I put it in the middle here, but then I do bottom of line text. Take away the shadow, and I want to give it a little background. So I'll give it a black background. I'm going to make it 100% opaque, and then I'm going to give it some roundedness and some size. See, so it looks like that. Now, problem is it's still covering that. So I have two options. I can lower that. I can lower the text, so I can do like this, and then like top aligned or middle aligned, or I can move this in effects controls. And so I think I might do that so my face isn't covered. And then, but that still doesn't solve this problem. If I go there, yeah, if I go there, it's still a little bit. So I might still move this down just a little. And then over here in text, Command A. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there in the middle. It's fine.
How you can get invited to every single party ever. You'll never be left out again. How? It's good.
You just got to go back in here and edit anything that didn't get picked up. So how? Let's get this party started and find out.
Again. How? Let's get this party started and find out.
I'm going to cut it right there, back to V to select it. So now when my ender slide comes in, it's gone. All right, so now I'm going to click on sequence, Command M, make sure my format is set to H.264. That's for MP4 files. And now I'm going to go back out here. Instead of putting it in messages, I'm going to put it in TikTok and Reels. 2023, start the party, 03, Nick. 01 title, and change it from entire source to in and out. So it's just gonna do that little bit right there. Export. There's TikTok number 1. All right, sweet. Now I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm gonna give me Social 2. I'm going to go back up here to Window and get my Effects panel back. So I'm switch from Workspaces from Captions to Effects. It's probably an easier way to do it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Now it auto-generated all these captions for me. That could be good, that could be bad, as long as I keep the same order. I like to tell stories on TikTok as much as I can, so if this story right here can make sense, I'm going to go with it.
Church I used to work at. One time, likes to be the person, but ever. Nobody.
Alright, so these captions are messing me up, so honestly I'm just going to start this over. So, no, I'm not going to save that. I'm going to go back in here, 3, Premiere, and pull this up. So now I'm going to just get myself a clean copy. And all I got to do is change the sequence settings. File, Save As, Social. I'll just make this 3. All right, sequence. Got to click on sequence. Sequence settings, 1080 by 1920. All right. Now back to my story. So I don't want these things here. Okay, I don't need those things for TikTok. Cut, V, out. I'm going to animate this in. Motion presets, position in, smooth, bottom.
Let's be honest.
And I'm going to zoom in, go over to effects controls. And now I got to cut the gaps.
Nobody. Let's be honest. Nobody ever likes to be the person left out. One time, I moved away from a church that I used to work at.
Just cutting out all these gaps. So C, then V, and then sliding over.
And at this church,
I don't need that big long and.
effort at this church. I did retreats. With an
So I'm going to bring all of these photos over.
Treats with another.
I just got to zoom in.
A friend of mine down the road, he worked at a church, and so together, our church would come to, our two churches would come together. We went on this fall retreat. And so before I moved, I was one of the ones who went on the.
All right, let's go back here and shave out any fluff. I don't need whatever this is.
Our church would come to, our two churches would come to at a church. So together, our church would come to our.
I'm gonna cut out that, so it's just this.
He worked at a church. Our two churches would come together. And we went on this fall retreat. And so before I moved, I was one of the ones who went on the retreat, helped plan it, speak, do all the things. And so every single fall, we went to camp. Fall retreat. And so
I'm gonna cut all that. Goal is to make it as short as possible.
And so every single fall, we went to
without
camp,
losing the story.
Kamsa in Brookston, Indiana. And we called the retreat the Recharge Retreat. And it was awesome. And it was awesome. It was awesome. In the same place. And because I follow both my... And it was awesome. It was around. And it was awesome. I leave that church, I move on to another one, and that same weekend rolls around.
Gotta get that out of there. I could have left it, just chose not to.
And because I follow both my old church and my buddy's church on Instagram, I see that they're both on a retreat. And I was like, ah, it's interesting. Both that church and this church are both on a retreat together. But on the same weekend.
Probably gonna cut all this out.
That's interesting. Wait.
And go, wait.
And that same weekend rolls around. Wait. And it was awesome. I leave that church, I move on to another one, and that same weekend rolls around. Wait, in Brookston, Indiana? Hold on. Hold on. They're together? And what I began to notice was that these two churches came together, and instead of calling it the Recharge Retreat, they called it the Lifeline Retreat or something like that. That these two churches came together, and instead of calling it the Recharge Retreat, they called it the Lifeline Retreat or something like that. I don't remember. But I felt so...
This is what I want to end on, right?
Lifeline Retreat. But
I felt so left out. Boom. And I just want to kind of leave it a little cliffhanger, so I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to grab my ender screen. I'm going to bring it in. It's going to position in right. I'm going to get the sounder for it. So that's at 1:30. 46. All right, so it's less than a minute. YouTube Shorts only allows a minute, so I always make my goal to be less than a minute. So, transcript. Get this out of here. I think that's my in-out points. I just want the audio transcribed. I don't need all that transcribed. That might be all the little ones. Listen, you and I are learning this all together with the new transcription interface. In the meantime, marvel at me in this old shirt. Alright, so I don't want that. I want create new caption track. There. So I need to get all these. I'm gonna do Babus New Pro. I'm gonna do another black. Actually, I'll do a white background with black text this time. I don't want shadow, I want background. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle. I'm going to lower it down just a little bit beneath my face, and let's see how it looks.
Let's be honest, nobody ever likes to be the person left out. One time, I moved away from a church that I used to work at. This church, I did retreats with another friend of mine down the road. He worked at a church. Our two churches would come together, and we went on this fall retreat. And so every single fall, we went to a camp called Camp Tecumseh in Brookston, Indiana. And we called the retreat the Recharge Retreat. And it was awesome. I leave that church, I move on to another one, and that same weekend rolls around. Hold on a minute. Was that these two churches came together, and instead of calling it the Recharge Retreat, they called it the Lifeline Retreat. But I felt so left out.
Just going to cut that right there. I'm going to put my out there. I'm going to come back over here. Put my in, and then Command M, switch it to H.264. TikTok, start the party. Boom. All right, and then one more. I like to do 3 a week. I typically post my title one on Sunday. And then I post the other two on a Thursday and a Tuesday. So that's just kind of been my rhythm. Leave some gaps in the calendar or in the TikTok posting schedule for some other things. So, all right, as this encodes, I am going to wrap up to the next one. Actually, I'm going to, you get the gist. I would do the third one the exact same way. Just realized I have a meeting in 2 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. I will make the third one without you here. But I hope that you found this helpful in pre-recording and then making TikToks in Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Photoshop. So if you found this helpful, leave a like, subscribe, rating, review, hit the notes, show notes for transcripts or my free ebook. And we'll talk soon. Don't forget, stay hybrid.